Yeah. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain Revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Broke on advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the deck, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the sex, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain Revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity. Flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain Revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gon' end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me, no way. OnChain Revolution, here to stay. Yeah, Sam Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain Revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain Revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy. On this channel, we cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What's up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and it's going to be crazy, guys, because yesterday we just got, I got smacked in the face by Jerome Powell. He did not say anything we wanted him to say. He was very hawkish, but that's okay because it apparently doesn't matter. Bitcoin doesn't care. Crypto doesn't care. We are having a monstrous day, guys. There's coins up tremendously right now. I mean, I'm looking at my chart. I'm seeing coins like Tau up 9%, Ethereum up 9%, Virtuals up 18%. It is absolutely insane. Bitcoin is getting to that 100K mark. We're sitting at 99,416 as we speak, and it is looking really good. Again, Colin Talks Crypto was saying yesterday that, he was expecting a big move. After the meeting, I was like, maybe we got to wait for that. But no, it happened. And that is why these charts are so actually amazing, because it doesn't matter what happens in macro or anything else. They just kind of keep going with it. It's all about the money in the system. The money in the system is buying Bitcoin. That's what we're seeing. New money's coming in. Money is buying Bitcoin. I don't get it. It's happening. It's going to continue to happen. And we're potentially going to see 190K in August. I mean, that's what this chart is telling me. Colin actually just updated it, so we're going to take a look at that. We're going to get into a lot of stuff here, get you guys caught up on everything that's happening, macro and crypto. We hope you guys really enjoy this one. It's going to be great. But without further ado, let's get this thing started. Bringing my partner here, as always, Mr. Yagobi. What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's up, man? How are you feeling? Everything? I know yesterday was a very down and up day, especially down during the meeting, up after. How's everything? How are you feeling with everything?
Same thing. I'm going to give you that same answer until I feel like we are, out of this month and a half, 2 months of tailing the M2 money supply. And so the one thing that I've noticed that stayed consistent, and I'll continually repeat this, is that Bitcoin is acting as a bulldozer right now. So you can throw anything you want at it. It's going to really just let it kind of, fall off the shoulders and says, hey, I have a destination, at least in the short term, I'm getting there. And so that's what I felt yesterday. I wasn't too worried with the hawkish, tone sentiment from Jay Powell, but alts, a little bit of different story, even though they are looking pretty good right now. I still think that we got to get in that risk on environment for alts to really thrive. And that might be a little bit later than we want, but maybe it happens sooner. Who knows? We got a trade deal that closed today that was really big.
I mean, dude, risk on is happening. I can't wait for you to look at the crypto bubbles because I just don't think you're estimating what has happened in the last 6 to 10 hours. I mean, it's everything on my chart is exploding right now. I mean, there's barely anything that's less than 5%. Like every single crypto product I'm looking right now is up at least 5%, and that's including Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I think it's because Bitcoin has that strong, has had that strong push up the past couple days, getting to right under 100,000. By the way, I'm not shocked that it didn't cross over. That's a big threshold, but we will get there. It's more of the QE, the sentiment on the macro that I'm talking about to get into more risk on. But hey, maybe alt say screw it, we're gonna push through as well.
I mean, they're looking prime, dude. I mean, I'm seeing like Vader on virtuals on 34%, Sui up 12%. I mean, this is just insane. Yeah. Let's get to a quick housekeeping note real quickly. So it starts today, guys. The Tokeo big time spaces, the Bitcoin Blitz, co-hosted by us, starts today. It's at 2 p.m. Eastern time is the first space, and then there's another space tomorrow around the same time, and then next week we're doing doubles. We're doing a space at 10 a.m. It'll be on YouTube and X and everywhere else, and then another space just in your normal X spaces at 2 p.m. all week. It's going to be absolutely insane. We hope you guys join us. Anything to say on this?
Yeah, it's like 2-a-days, man. Like when I was doing 2-a-days in football. In the morning, you're gonna get it. In the afternoon, you're gonna get it. But yeah, we're also gonna have Ferks and OG in the space that represents Cha-Ching. That's gonna be building on Arch Network as well. It's gonna be co-hosting along with us and Tokeo being the main host. But yeah, excited about this. Come get educated. Every space has a different topic that has to do with the Bitcoin ecosystem, and you guys are going to be shocked to see how many builders are here and how many builders are coming and how much investing is happening into this space. But super psyched, super hyped about this.
Yeah, 100%. I feel the same way. It's going to be fun. It's going to be different, and we've never seen anything like this before. This many spaces in this short time. So, what if this kind of brings back the hype, man? This could really bring back that push that we really need, at least into the Bitcoin ecosystem.
Yeah, most of the time, whenever there's a emerging, innovative ecosystem, you got to have builders, you have to have platforms, you have to have protocols, and then you see the users either take or don't, right? And there's just too much, in my opinion, energy, protocols, investment coming from big names, mind you, Coinbase Ventures, Binance Labs, OKX Ventures, et cetera, Draper Labs, all these big names, you had Dan Held on from the Arch Network, or like during Arch Thursdays a couple weeks ago, and he's a part of the DPI group now. He's a big name, and so people are in the short term kind of still paying attention to Solana because the volume and the hype is there with the shit coinery or whatever you want to call it. But big money is starting to make some moves, and big builders are coming over.
Yeah, 100%. Really looking forward to seeing this next week and kind of seeing the explosiveness that I think is going to come out of that. But we will see. But let's kind of get into the news of the day, and that's what happened yesterday. So Federal Reserve leaves interest rates unchanged, remains between 4.25 and 4.5. We saw that coming a million miles away. Poly market, when they shoot, they don't miss. They were 99% sure that nothing was going to happen. Federal Reserve says. So at 2:30, Jerome Powell came out and he had a couple of statements. I'm going to read them real quick. He said the risks of higher unemployment and higher inflation have risen. So that is good. That is good in the sense of potential bringing down rates, right? So, and then Jerome Powell says if tariffs are not reduced, it can lead to a rise in inflation, a slowdown in economic growth, and increase in unemployment. That's from Jerome Powell. Then right after the meeting, our president, Trump, came out and says Jerome Powell is a fool. He doesn't have a clue. So what did you take yesterday from him speaking? And then what did you take from potentially Trump just saying, just ignore this guy?
Yeah, well, the data that Jerome Powell talked about was actually mixed, right? In terms of
Yeah.
what he could do in the future, right? Higher unemployment is good for possibly cutting rates, but higher inflation isn't. Higher inflation
Yeah.
makes him want to stay the same, or, kind of just stay there. And so that's where the confusion is. Everybody's kind of like, okay, what are they doing? But and then the current administration comes out, calls him a fool. That doesn't help, obviously, because look, Jerome Powell seems to be, for the most part, calm, cool, collected, but he's a human being, and human beings can get sensitive no matter how calm, cool, and collected you are, unless you're a monk, which he's not, right? So I think continually poking the bears not going to make him say, hey, I'm going to cut rates because Trump called me a fool. Probably take a different strategy if you really want him to cut rates. But either way, we knew this was happening, like you said, right? We knew that they were going to pause. It wasn't, poly markets pretty much, truth whenever it comes to a certain percentage, and it was at 98%, right? So, but the one thing that I did expect, and I didn't expect also to kind of join in on the energy as much, but Bitcoin, I said, look, there might be a pullback. And I said this yesterday, I said about 4 hours after, that's when I'm going to start looking at like possibly a re-entry into the market in terms of leverage or anything like that. But that's what happened, right? 4 hours, calm down after some pullback, and then bam. The other parts of the financial markets, I'm not sure how they're doing, but Bitcoin and crypto says we are on this mission and nothing's going to stop us, at least in the short term.
Yeah, the other markets are sideways. So we got the S&P 500 0.19 change, basically nothing. The DXY is up 0.2. Let's see what else. The Dow Jones is up 0.4, which is kind of a lot for the Dow Jones, honestly. It barely moves that quick. Gold's down a little bit. You're seeing gold at 3357. It's about 0.2 down. So, and Nvidia is down a little bit. So it's very sideways over there on TradFi.
Yeah. And Bitcoin's really been the one that's stuck out, right? And says, hey, look, TradFi might pull back off of negative news, but not us. And Bitcoin's continually pushing forward. So I'm expecting to cross over 100K. Maybe not today. Maybe we get a little bit of a, that's a threshold that, remember, 100K is still that big number. But I expect it at least by over the weekend, right? That's not my expectation ending the week, on that Sunday evening of being over that amount, unless of course something else happens. But if another trade deal, seems like it's closing, then that's another possible big pop off too.
I mean, dude, we're at 99.6. We are 0.35 away from 100K. Like, I mean, we are a couple, like we are like $10 million buy to push us over 100K. I think we're going to pass it in the next few hours. I think we're going to reach 100 and 101, 102K by 4 o'clock today. I think people are going to feel like they're missing it. They want to get in before 100K. This is the opportunity, but we'll see. But the reason why we really pumped, it really wasn't Jerome Powell, right? It was President Trump officially announces new trade deal with the United Kingdom. This was kind of teased yesterday. Everyone kind of thought maybe it was China, but ended up being the UK. UK, I think you said is like 3% of our trade agreement. So this was the statement from President Trump. He said, U.S. has reached a full and comprehensive trade agreement with the UK. I don't think this is really a big deal. I just felt like the markets were they need a reason to go, and this gave them that reason.
Yes, but it is kind of this monumental first trade deal that's looks like it's coming in close, because there's a lot of people have been questioning, hey, you guys said that there's so many countries begging you guys, for new, to close a trade deal, and all you haven't really shown anything. And to the media's point, which I don't really give them too much credit, right? They were right on that. And so for this being the first deal to close, I think that's why it's a big deal. And I think that's why now I think the expectation is, hey, that first domino has fallen. Let's see how quickly the second, third, fourth starts to fall. If it does pick up momentum, we could get in some pretty crazy, price action, right? And alts could really benefit from this, and the rest of the markets too, the rest of the financial markets, right? Then I think maybe the Fed will start to reassess and say, hey, it looks like maybe we overreacted, or maybe things are calming down now and we can relax.
Yeah, 100%. And then, Trump comes out and he says major tax bill is underway, calling it the biggest tax cut for middle and working class Americans by far. So it's another reason why we're kind of pumping here. Let's just say a bill goes to Congress or goes to the Senate, right, coming next week, and that has everything that he promised, which is no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on like Uber and stuff like that, right? Because like there's people out there with side hustles that are getting taxed, untaxed, right? So but what do you think about that? What do you think about potential huge tax cut? Does that take us to Valhalla next week if that lands on these senators and congressmen's desks?
Absolutely. If it does get through, the problem is the opposition's pushing back on this, right? And so all they need to do is be able to convince a couple of people in the Republican side or to go their way, and then it's stalled. I hope that doesn't happen, because this can really snowball into this amazing summer, but even better and more robust Q4 that we've been talking about for the overall markets, but especially Bitcoin and crypto. And so, yesterday, Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, got grilled by Congress, which is, that's normal. The opposition, whether it's Democrat or Republican, that is the Secretary of Treasury, once they are in that kind of, testimony situation, they're always getting grilled no matter what, right? So but the thing was, digital assets was a big topic yesterday, and he brought it up and showed that this administration has a lot of confidence in what the future is of digital assets. So man, we could see seriously this Q4 that we have never seen in our space ever. We could see something crazy, man. If all
I don't think it's Q4. I think it's Q2. I think it's Q3. I think we're about to run here, dude. I just feel it, dude. Everything is pointing this way. I mean, the money supply alone is telling us we're going to 100K by August, right? Yeah. So just that alone.
So the M2 could definitely get us back on track, like the money supply, right? But there's still some things that need to go through, right? QE, as well as this bill being passed and stuff like that. That's why I'm giving us, at least to Q3, because Q2 ends at the end of June. So we basically have 1 month to do all these things. And so let's say that we are moving right along, right? The bill goes through, the Fed starts to ease, and now we're at the start of Q3. This could be like this, fall that goes into a Q4 that could be blow off the top. But a lot of things has to happen to get us there, in my opinion. But everything's lined up. Everything's lined up for it.
But we don't need that stuff to happen. Markets are forward looking. We just need to feel like it's going to happen, right? We don't actually need the bills to pass. We just need them to be looking like they're going to pass. We don't need quantitative easing. We just need to feel like we're about to enter quantitative easing. The markets are forward looking. That's why it's always buy the rumor, sell the news. I think by the time all this does happen, market's going to be so high that you're going to see a sell off after everything goes through.
Obviously, whenever the bill gets passed, it's not that very next day. They have to get the regulation or the law goes into place. Yeah, but I'm just saying, month and a half for all that stuff. Plus also we want Q4 to be like this huge ramp up. You know what I mean? Huge ramp up, and so that's the way I see it.
I want Q4 to be a cool off. I want to run heavy into that Q4, and then January, February of next year be absolutely insane. I'd rather an insane Q3, a really good Q2, a really amazing Q3, a cool off in Q4, and then we run hard next year. Next year is 2021 all over again.
Yeah, you also have to remember kind of these financial cycles are also seasonal. They're repetitive. I don't remember a ton of January, February being amazing. The 2024 one was a little bit different because of the ETF. The Bitcoin ETF changed that. We'll see, though. We'll see what happens.
January, February of 2021 was absolutely insane. We've never seen a summer that's bullish, but we're kind of predicting a bullish summer, right? So DeFi I just think that thing,
DeFi summer was pretty bullish.
It's only 6 weeks. It was bare. It was the end. It was August and September. It wasn't.
And also it was Bitcoin. It was Bitcoin and some in Ethereum, a couple of the majors that thrived in January, February. But in April is really when things kind of kicked off that year. If you remember, the Shiba Inus and stuff like that, the
2021,
yeah. So but we didn't get that this year, right? We didn't get that, so we'll see what happens. The good thing is that we have something positive to look forward to, at least, unless something crazy happens.
We'll see. To your point earlier, Treasury Secretary Bessa, he did sit in front of Congress yesterday, but the biggest thing he said, digital assets are an important source of innovation that will drive usage of the US dollar. Why is it important? Because in 2020, around 2020, 2019, Trump came out and said, Bitcoin is a villain, right? Basically saying Bitcoin is against the dollar. It's not going to help the dollar. But now you see the Treasury Secretary actually come out here in 2025 and say, no, digital assets help the dollar. And they do. Stable coins are dollars, right? I don't see any stable euros. I don't see any stable yens. I see stable dollars everywhere.
Yeah, and it's obviously it's going to depend on like the collateralization, all that stuff. But if the more that stables are popular globally, that from at least in my opinion, the ones that come from here, it's going to obviously help the dollar.
For sure. Jump into that. So where is it? I'll get to that in a little bit. All right, we'll keep moving on here. So Arizona governor officially signs law to establish a Bitcoin reserve fund. Kind of tired of hearing this stuff, but this is now Arizona is doing this. Didn't one just fail yesterday?
From Arizona.
It's hard to keep. Was it Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona's governor.
Now she signed it.
I mean, unless that's bad news, but you know,
I mean, this is coming from Watcher Guru. So apparently it is now signed. After yesterday, maybe she vetoed it. Like, I don't get. Maybe there was something in it she had to repel. I don't know. Watcher Guru is claiming that they officially signed it. So
yeah. I think it's for state to keep unclaimed crypto.
I'm seeing Bitcoin Reserve Fund. So yeah, I mean that could be the same thing.
Maybe she. I'm pretty sure she got like a bunch of pushback because that was the news headline. I think on Monday, and she probably got so much pushback that she's having to pivot and say, hey, maybe we'll. It says right here. It says. Into law, it says Katie Hobbs signed House Bill 2749 into law on Wednesday, establishing a state-managed Bitcoin and digital assets reserve fund that will hold unclaimed digital assets and staking rewards. 5 days after she vetoed to a separate cryptocurrency bill. So this is her way to make nice, I think, and say, hey, look, I vetoed that original bill. In my opinion, I think it was political, and she got so much pushback, even probably from her own party, that she said, okay, let's do this. She probably still wants to save face as anything that's unclaimed. We'll keep and we'll put it in our reserve. That's how these politicians work, man.
100%. Bank of England cuts interest rates today by 0.25 to 4.25, citing Trump's tariff trade war as key factors. So England, they've been cutting, but England raised a lot more than the U.S. did during 2022, 2023. So they're actually just now getting to the interest rate that the U.S. is. And they said that they're going to continue to cut rates in England. So yeah, we're seeing them enter our range now at 4.25.
Yep. And real quick before I comment on this, congratulations for Bitcoin crossing over 100K. Barely did. Now it's back. And shout out to ASAP Benji for commenting that, because that's what made me look at it. But yeah, so congrats, guys. We are back past 100K.
102 by the end of the day. I think I'm going to be right on that.
Yeah. Hey, sometimes I'm just too conservative. You know what I mean? Like I was saying by Sunday, but anyways.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, let's do it again. We're about to do it again.
That's a nice candle right there. Oh, there we are.
There we are. It's official. It's official, guys.
There you go.
Official.
So I want to know what you bought that for. I know your family watches. No, just kidding. But
oh man, so we're 999, guys. We're back under. All right. Let's continue with the show.
The funny thing is, you got to pick all that up and load back up.
I know. Let's see if there's anything else in here. There's a few more. I got
broken.
There you go, guys. Let's make it rain. But past that 100K mark. Absolutely awesome. All right, let's move along here. So Colin Talks Crypto, the guy who called this. I mean, 100%. Like he called us yesterday with his chart here. Let's kind of dig into what is. So he says, let me bring up his tweet here. So he says, Bitcoin follows global MM2 like the lines are glued together. truly amazing to watch it unfold. 99.3 currently, so that was yesterday or this morning. 100K not far away. He was right. M2 climb lasts through August. Sideliners going to be sidelined. Watch the video for thing, but here's a glimpse of it. And we did reach. So he's still calling for like 170 now in August. So we did have a little bit down with the M2, but Bitcoin is following it. Like, look, it didn't even have the downtrend though. It's just kind of like, no, we're going up. And that's where we're kind of sitting right now, a little bit over 100K, a little under 100K right there. So,
yeah. And I think he's calling for what, 120 in June, around 120 in June. Yeah. Right at like
128. Yeah. Let's do the top of here. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're about a month away from that kind of forecast, but I love this chart, baby. Like, how can you not love this? It's a magnet, is what it looks like.
It really does, man. But we're gonna see potentially 120 in the next 30 to 60 days, guys. Like, and then who knows? In the next 90, we're gonna see 170. This has been so accurate. It is absolutely scary. I don't think there's any other chart to look at right now, right? Besides this one. So I'm really looking forward to seeing Plan B's dot too. At the end of
he's gonna be happy.
Oh yeah,
because stock to flow has not really been stock to flowy, but it seems like it's about to be kind of some of those forecasts and stuff that it typically gets accurate.
I mean, Plan B is predicting between 500 and 700, right? So really looking stuff. I actually think it's going to top that, but we'll see. We will see. All right, let's kind of get into the next thing here. So Coinbase, big news this morning. First thing when you hopped on this morning, I was like, yo, Coinbase is absolutely insane. They acquired options platform Deribit. Deribit is the #1 option trading platform in crypto, expanding its offering in the crypto derivatives market. So listen to what they paid. It's crazy. So 2.9 billion altogether, 700 million in cash. Like, that's crazy, first off. And then 11 million shares of coin, which is the rest of that $2.9 billion. So absolutely insane. $2.2 million in $1 billion in coin. So they just gave them a crap load of coin shares for sure. But yeah, so what do you think about this, man? How big of an acquisition for Coinbase here?
I think this is huge. I mentioned kind of pre-show that options are not normalized in our space because leverage and perps really have been so front and center. And let's be real, centralized exchanges make tons of money off of that. Market makers do make lots of money off of that. But I think that there's going to be a transition into more of an options style of market for our space. And I say that because some people look at options as less risky than just straight leverage and all that stuff. Now, obviously, it's still risky. You're still taking margin, right? Or you have. I'm sure Coinbase is going to give you margin. You have the ability, but you do have a date, so it's and it can be manipulated as well, right? Let's not get it twisted. But I think a lot of people look at options as a little bit more safe, right? So you can still kind of long and short, right? Like call or put options. I prefer them. But that's just not the nature of our market. And we're going to see if this actually transitions over. Because I'll tell you this, that TradFi people will play options. I promise you that. And they already are with Deribit, I'm sure. It's just like it doesn't seem like it has taken the adoption of the overall crypto market yet. But I think that changes. It's probably going to take some time. But Coinbase acquiring them, this is huge because they're going to be one of the main servicers. I think Coinbase is really trying to be something like like a Fidelity or something, a brokerage that from TradFi where you could buy stocks traditionally, except for obviously you have the mobile side, so it's a mix of that and Robinhood. And so Coinbase in the future, man, I can't imagine what their stock price is going to be and their valuation in the future, or their market cap. They're going to be huge.
Yeah, and we're always talking about finding the Googles, finding the Amazon. Is Coinbase the Google of crypto?
I mean, it's hard to bet against it.
Yeah.
Right. It's very, very hard to bet against that. And so from a financial standpoint, and they're getting a lot of backing from TradFi institutions, right?
Yeah.
Circle has a lot of TradFi influence in it, a lot of banking influence in it, right? And so I think Brian Armstrong is going to be one of like richest people on earth eventually. And for Coinbase to stay at it too. I mean, look, I bought my first Bitcoin in 2013 on like using Coinbase.
Yeah.
And they're still here. They're still at the top. You got to commend that. When everybody was against crypto and all the banking institutions were against it, like he persevered. He wasn't like FTX and got too greedy. He had his head on his shoulders and stuff. I'm sure he didn't do everything the right way. Like no one did during that time. They didn't really have a guiding light, but enough to get it to where it is today. And it's the most dominant brand in crypto.
100%. There's nothing that even comes close to Coinbase besides Binance, right? But Binance is being
I still think, I still think Coinbase is still that tops, but Binance definitely has its place at that number 2.
If you're Binance, are you like, damn, we should have did it. We should have went and got Deribit.
No, I mean, look, the way that crypto works is globally is totally different than our original financial markets. Yes, there was a lot of everywhere on the globe participating in our financial markets, right? The New York Stock Exchange, all these things, and they have their own stock exchange, but it's different now. So like, global to where anybody can go on anything, and I think these barriers of not being able to use Binance and stuff, those are going to be, obviously you're gonna have to go through a process, I think, for different countries, but it will be relaxed with that. But there will be a king of the East, king of the West, and that's what we got with those two.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. So that's another thing here. So Raoul put out a tweet this morning. Someone I highly respect. He said, I think Bitcoin dominance top today. There are daily, weekly, and monthly demarks tops in place, and the top is well below the 2021 top, and that was below the 2017 top. So let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance, right? This is kind of what I'm seeing here. I'm thinking we're gonna get back to 62 by the 22nd. I think, this has just been such an upward momentum. I mean, this is one of the strongest charts I've ever seen in my life. This is Bitcoin dominance here. You saw that dip in December when we saw alts and everything ran, but it just took back everything, and it was doing. And this is kind of what Raoul Powell meant. This is the top in the previous cycle, right there around 73, and it looks like our top's going to be 65, hopefully. And then if you want to take it all the way back, right, we'll go into exactly what Raoul was talking about. And that seems like the top back here in 2016, which as far back as they've been tracking, was 99%. So I don't know if that was right. But yeah, so we're seeing Bitcoin dominance kind of fall off here, back under 65. Does it continue from your point of view?
Oh, I mean, the logical part of me says, yeah, I think it will, but sometimes you got to throw that logical part of your brain out, and I mean, alts, look, it's the first day of Bitcoin crossing back over 100K. Everybody's excited. Alts are looking good. If we can continue some momentum, maybe this trade deal is really making economists and pundits and stuff a lot more optimistic. Maybe that's all it takes. There's a lot of sensitive, emotional people in that space right now. And so I wouldn't be shocked if he's right. But logically, it doesn't seem right. Logically, I feel like we need more to get into risk on environment, but it looks like maybe not, right? Maybe not. Maybe there, the alt market has been suppressed tremendously though. So maybe this is like, just a like pent up demand that's like, hey, you know what? F all you guys, like it's time to release the Kraken. You know what I mean? Like we've been waiting on this for a long time. So I'm gonna sit back. I'm gonna keep watching. I wonder what Benjamin Cohen's saying. Has he really mentioned or put his opinion out on this?
He said 65 feels good, but what does 66 feel like? That was kind of what his statement was on that. So I'll find something for tomorrow. I'm sure he's tweeting today about this. So we will see. I have something else here. Where is that?
I got a question for you. Do we see below 100K again?
Maybe on a wick, not on daily close. I think the days of daily closes under 99 or under 100 are pretty much over.
Well, like, and obviously that I'm saying that after we get a little bit of safe buffer, right? Like we get to 103 and 105, and will we see below 100K again? We might not, and I know we've said that before, But if this M2 supply is going to be that aggressive, the tailing of the M2 supply is going to be that aggressive, then when would the pullback happen, right? He says until August, and there's obviously going to be incremental, pullbacks, but not to the point to where, if we're at 115, 120, we go back below 100K, something is wrong. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, 100%. Yeah. The next thing here is pretty cool. So Trump tied World Liberty. It's funny because Cointelegraph put out a thing. It's a Trump-backed World Liberty Financial, and then they deleted it and they put a new one up that says Trump tied World Liberty Financial. So I don't know why they reworded it, but that's very rare from somebody like Cointelegraph. But this is the new one. They said Trump tied World Liberty Financial. USD1 stablecoin market cap surges from 130 to over 2 billion in last April. So this is kind of what we're saying. We're seeing that USD1 is now on the list. So they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th now. In all the stable coins in total. So, and that's including PayPal's on there. We're seeing First Digital is on there, so they're beating those two. Does USD1 become one of these top players? I don't even know what USDS is, but apparently it's number 3.
Yeah. So you're talking about 130 million, right? And to me, like, that's at the end of April. So what, like not even 10 days, almost 10 days, and you have a 15x in market cap, right? So they have been shuffling a lot around. And I will say my opinion on the Trump tide change thing is, probably got a call from his entity and said, hey, look, don't put him as an individual back to, this is a separate part of his organization, and they don't want a president backed, basically, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense, actually. And I think we'll probably see a lot more of these type of corrections and more wording, phrasing like this. But 15x in market value, market cap is huge. And it looks like they are trying to really establish themselves as, hey, look, we are here. World Liberty Fi is a serious player. Yeah. We're going to have serious products. And look what we did in less than 10 days.
Yeah, it's insane. And right now it's only on what, BNB and Tron? I think that's the only two chains that it's on. What happens when it gets on Solana? What happens when it gets on, I'm sure they're going to want to back the Trump token with USD1, right? Because they hold a majority of it. So that would actually, because right now Trump's against USDC. So what if they're just like, hey, we're going to cut the USDC and we're going to use this pool instead, USD1 pool. So I don't know. We could see this 10x, dude. We could see this being number 3 very quickly if PayPal. I mean, PayPal's just going sideways. I mean, PayPal's not really doing much, but they're adding anyway. So it's really looking like USD1 could be one of the top contenders.
Yeah, PayPal, I think will, they'll compete. They're just probably trying to get their footing and say, like, what's our place in this market? They're still trying to figure that out. But they have a lot of I would imagine cash flow and capital and but they have so much other stuff that they're dominating in, right? And so what is this new financial system going to look like for them?
Yeah, man, 100%. All right, let's get into that crypto fear and greed here. I haven't even had a chance to look at it yet. A little downer, little down on the thought. So last week was a 53. Yesterday was 67. We're surprisingly lower than yesterday, 67, but not by much.
60-fold.
Right there, 65. So we're sitting at 65 now on the crypto fear and greed. What are you thinking?
What am I thinking? I'm thinking it's going to be a lot higher tomorrow, probably something like 75, 79, something like that.
Damn, you're thinking that high, really?
Well, I mean, if we continue this momentum, right? Yeah. I mean, we're almost at like 101. We're at 100,700. So we'll see how much this momentum continues. I'd like a good buffer, a couple $1,000 buffer, above 100K, so we don't have to pull back down below it, but we'll see.
Yeah, 100%. I'm right there with you. I'm thinking 70 for tomorrow, and I think Monday we're going to be in the 80s. So I think we're going to be in the 80s, 90s all next week. I think next week's going to be very, very upward momentum. Maybe not for Bitcoin. Maybe we see Bitcoin kind of go a little sideways, maybe 102, 103. But I'm feeling like the alt market, man. I'm feeling it, bro. I just feel like there's so much opportunity in the alt market, and a lot of these big players are seeing it, and they're going to buy it before retail does. But we'll see. But let's try to check out everything. I'm actually curious what the bubbles look like. But let's get into the Bitcoin price action brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, these guys are doing massive things, guys. They're going to be launching on multiple chains. We were talking with them yesterday. You know, the focus was on Hemi, but now it's kind of going towards Botonics a little bit as well. So, but you know, still, I mean, you still want to use Hemi as well because Hemi is backed by Binance, right? So that's actually huge because, you know, there's a potential airdrop on Hemi by using Artura there. But now we're seeing Botonics, guys. These guys, Botonics, the Spider Chain, they're doing actually monstrous things. And for Artura to be probably the #1 DApp there, that's going to be massive for Artura. So you still will be getting the Artura airdrop. But Botonics hasn't ever came out and said they're going to have a token yet. But who knows? They might be doing something for the user. So it's still an opportunity there. But you're definitely going to check out Artura on Hemi and Artura on Botonics, and all you got to do is really just change your MetaMask address or whatever while you use your MetaMask chain. So you'll change it from Hemi to Botonics and back and forth. Real simple, real easy. And you know, knowing these side chains, guys, can be very, very big for you guys in the future because learning is actually going to be your way of getting ahead of everyone else. Everyone was going to be learning about the stuff in 6 months. You'll be already there. You'll be like, I used that already, and I'm reaping the rewards. So definitely check out Artura.finance. They're going live probably within the next 4 to 8 weeks. Really looking forward to these guys.
Absolutely, guys. And, you know, we're seeing every single day with infrastructure being built for the Bitcoin ecosystem. So be ready. Get familiarized with the players that have been building through the hardest times to build, by the way, mind you. But before we get into Bitcoin's price action, guys, help us out here on the YouTube side. Smash that like for us. Also, subscribe to the channel and turn your notifications on so you know when we go live. On the X side, guys, share the space. You know the drill. You know the drill. We appreciate each and every one of you guys watching and supporting us. But share the space so we can educate, onboard as many people as possible into the, you know, crypto and Bitcoin ecosystem as possible. And then also on the abstract side, guys, hit that follow over there. We're getting a lot more followers in our abstract community is growing as well. So appreciate you guys. But let's jump into some Bitcoin price action here. Going to start off with the hour chart, and it looks magnifico. Yeah, that was a horrible Italian accent, I know, but still, hey, let's go ahead and jump in here. You know what's crazy? I really do. I was telling Shizzy myself that I appreciate you, man. I feel like you're gonna make me a better trader by, you know, suggesting these indicators and stuff. And the latest and greatest one has been the Bollinger Bands, and it was really cool because you can see here that the tightening was starting to happen, and that typically happens whenever there's a big move that's about to occur, and that's what happened. We saw the Bollinger Band starting to tighten here. Big move occurred. There wasn't even enough time for the tightening to occur again, and another big move happened. So that's why I'm, you know, a little bit extra bullish in where we're going right now. I would love another headline about another trade deal closing. I think that would take us even further. But let's take a look at what today looks like, and it looks like very bullish is what I see. You can see here this green candle on the MACD is starting to form pretty big too. We had a little bit of a blip and faked people out to the downside, like we were going to pull that back, but it looks like we're going to have this continuation happen. And remember, always the market makers are looking to see who's getting crazy, who's getting extra greedy and stuff. So be careful. Don't be, just because Bitcoin is looking hyper aggressive, you're going to go crazy and take a 50 to 100x and think you're going to just be able to leave it and go away. Nah, they're going to be able to hit you on your stop losses. And if you're doing that, you probably don't even have a stop loss. So they're just going to liquidate you. But second half of today, man, I'm feeling very energetic, as you can tell. You know, I feel like our indicators, our leading indicators are showing, you know, it wants to continue up, but you know, we have seen a pretty good pop up, a $2,000 jump up here from 99.5 to 101.5 is kind of where we are. There isn't any resistance, but believe me, eventually there will be some resistance building up here. So I just be careful. You know, this is a huge green candle. I think if you're going to try to swing, it's probably a lot better, but you do you, right? But the indicators are showing, hey, look, we want to go back up, but that doesn't mean that something can't switch on a dime here and you know, we have a pullback and stuff like that. But for me, even if we do pull back and we go back down below 101, I think that we're going to play well into the 4-hour chart for heading into the weekend. Maybe Saturday will be more of that, like, you know, chop and you know, built like just sideways day, and then we'll see what happens on Sunday. But I feel pretty good about today and tomorrow. So let's take a look here on the 4-hour. Looks beautiful as well. We have been in the stochastics on the overbought side for since Tuesday, about 3 p.m. Central. We haven't really dipped below. But remember yesterday when I was talking about this moment here, so I said, really that 1 hour chart is going to play off of the FOMC sentiment. It's going to let us know I'll say about 4 hours afterwards, it's going to let us know what direction, if Bitcoin's going to continue to push forward and up. Then we'll know about 4 hours after that meeting. And that's what happened, right? Bitcoin said, okay, looks like I'm going to continue forward. I'm not going to let this sentiment, this hawkish tone really mess with me. And then we had the trade deal that closed and it got really bullish today, right? So this looks like it also wants to continue. And so the 4 hour Bitcoin chart typically will give us a 2 to 3 day forecast of the price action. So that's why I'm also feeling bullish for the second half of today and tomorrow. And Saturday, as I always say, I try to stay out of the markets on Saturday, just kind of let see how the chop goes, and if any big news comes out over the weekend or anything like that, I kind of take that in and then try to make a decision on Sunday evening, because typically that's whenever the big moves happen. So feeling good about the next 2 days, today and tomorrow. Let's head over to the weekly chart for Bitcoin, which looks beautiful as well. I said, the one thing on the weekly I kept looking at was how are we defending the 50-day EMA? And, we defended it very well here. Yes, it dropped here below, but then once we started to make some momentum here on the upside, we just continued that, right? So this is following that M2 money supply, guys. That's why I feel like, getting to a new all-time high in late May, early June is very, very possible. It's likely. It's probable, right? So you can see here the setup looks amazing on the weekly chart for Bitcoin. For the stochastic RSI, we are at that like 75-80% mark to the overbought. We're gonna hang up here for a while, is how I feel, right? And so the last time we were in buy pressure on the MACD was November. Right. So this was M2 money supply time too. So if you look here, this was when the M2 money supply started to really go up and we started to tail it. So kind of similar thing here, right? So that's why I don't think we probably see below 100K again once we get some space here. So feeling really, really good here on Bitcoin's weekly chart. And then let's take a look at the others chart, which is everything besides Bitcoin and the top 10 majors, blue chips. And it's starting to look good. It is starting to look good. You can see we've made our way back into the 50-day EMA. So still a lot of blue chips and mids and micro caps in here. But I said that, Bitcoin, in my opinion, had to get to a new all-time high and then figure out to hover before this thing starts to fast track. I still believe some of that, but it looks like it's, today's it's looking very aggressive. I know that this is the weekly chart, but if there's an aggressive day, you'll still see it on the weekly chart a little bit. So I'm feeling good of where we are here. The setup looks pretty good, just a little bit behind Bitcoin in terms of, the stochastic RSI and the MACD as well. So the setup looks really good, man, for the next month and a half, 2 months for both Bitcoin and alts. And I really hope that we get that hyper aggressive alt season that we've all been waiting for. So looking really good there. And the last thing I will touch on is this beautiful crypto bubbles on the daily.
Bro, it's insane.
I know, this is beautiful. It's you can see like the memes are definitely a little bit more aggressive. You see Brett up 36.8%, Pengu up 32.2%, Pepe up 22.2%, Fartcoin back up 20% pretty much. But you also see the utility RWA stuff. Ondo up 11%, Maker up 13.6%, Tau up 14.7%, HBAR up 10%. Everything. The only thing that's down is not even a percentage of this, so it's probably like 0.01. And then you have Forum and X. So pretty much 99% of the market is up, and so this is a really good day, guys. On the week, it's catching up. Fartcoin's still down a little bit on the week, so a little bit surprising here. But we'll see that tomorrow this will probably be up or green on the weekly. I imagine if we have this momentum continue. But yeah, so looking pretty good. We can get a little bit more degen here as well. And see Mog, man, Mog has been kind of in the timeline, the crypto Twitter timeline. So Mog is up 55%, Kato up 53%. Dog, shout out Dog, Leonidas, all the dog community, which is one of the strongest communities in crypto right now. They're up 4.2%. Bitcoin Rune here. But yeah, anything you want to look at specifically, or
Yeah, why do you think the runes aren't really moving? Dogs are barely up 4% on the week. I mean, it's I don't get it. I mean, you're seeing stuff like Turbo, Kato, Mog, Popcat, right? You're seeing so many other ones, but you're seeing Dog, just kind of lagging. It did just pop up a little bit since that refresh, but why do you think the runes are lagging now?
yeah, where's Dog at? Oh, 9 point something percent. So
Yeah.
this is the daily. I was on the weekly here. So
Yeah. Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, look, when it comes to mindshare, Dog has a lot of crypto Twitter's mindshare, but Runes is still trying to carve that out. And I think it will get better as some of these infrastructure protocols and stuff like Arch Network and Saturn, having this real hyper focus on Runes once they launch in June. But I do think that they're going to have their day. Right now, it's just a little bit delayed. Mog is something that has been around for a while. I think is it on Base or is it on Ethereum? It's on one of the two.
I think it's on Solana now too. I think it migrated over there.
Oh yeah,
over there. So
yeah, so they did bridge some over there. So I don't know, but I do think that they're gonna have their day for sure. Runes will, but it's just a little bit delayed here. But yeah, so that's kind of what the alt markets are looking like, guys. I feel pretty good about where we are with everything.
Yeah, 100%, man. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. But let's kind of get into the roll call here. We got a lot of new people in here. Shout out to a lot of you guys. And if you guys don't know, so we do a thing. We're giving away a Bitcoin frog that's valued at around $800, giving it away in December 31st, right after the show. So whoever wins that frog, and it's easy to win. You just got to be the first comment going forward. So these guys actually got a lead on you if you're new, but there's still plenty of time. There's over 180 days left in the year. So there's 180 new days, but shout out to ASAP Benji. You have your 9th win of the year, and you are that first comment of today. So shout out to you, my friend. It looks like some people got reaped, but it doesn't matter because ASAP Benji got it. Shout out to you, man, on your 9th win of the year. WebDro, I got you in here. Yesterday it wasn't working, but today it's up. I made sure that I got you in here. So shout out to all you guys. Danny Boy's still in the lead with 21, followed by WebDro at 18. And then I think we have Lackey Lukey with 12 and ASAP Benji with 9. Shout out to all you guys, man. But shout out to every single one of you guys who makes roll call. Let's kind of go through it and see who is here. The list is long, so it should be fun. ASAP Benji says, well, I stumbled on this. Didn't even try. Shout out to Benji. PJNZ says ASAP as. Malam Yuri still holding strong. Shout out to you, Malam. ASAP Benji, again, WebDro, and then we have Nighthawk is here. Shout out to Nighthawk, says GM, mi amigos from the depths of hell, wherever that may be. Shout out to you. Mats is here. It's been a little while, Mats. Appreciate you coming back, man. ASAP Benji again. PJNZ says 99.8. Yeah, man. 100K came. Shout out to Goose Honk is here. Shout out to Goose Honk. Bitmap Capital, man. Every day this week. Shout out to you, my friend. Mempool Punk, you were with us the entire time, man. Shout out to you, my friend. Lackey Lukey is here. Shout out to Lackey Lukey. Abstract is here. Cameron is here. Chips and Dip is here. Kane is here. Shout out to Kane. Satoshi Nakamoto is here. Shout out to Satoshi. We got Vader is here. Shout out to Vader. Malam Yuri again. KDN is here. It's been a while, KDN. Man, I love that you guys. The number goes up and they all come back. Shout out to you, my friend. Super fan like every single day, bro. Appreciate you, my legend. Bernard, shout out to Bernard is here. Good afternoon. MD Salman is here. Shout out to MD Salman. Rick G. Shout out to Rick G, man. Appreciate you, my friend. It's been a while for you too, my friend. I'm glad you are rocking with us today. So Lord Santos says, let's go Portal Coin. Yeah, so there was a misunderstanding between us and Portal Coin. So we did do a video yesterday with the Portal team, the CEO, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, yep. CEO of it last night. We're going to be putting that out probably in about 6 hours from right now. So shout out to you guys for being here. But we appreciate you guys here. Hope you guys stay and hang out with us. Even though the Portal video will be out later. It was a pre-record. We had a misunderstanding with the team. They thought it was live. But yeah all good, all good. MD Salman again. Fresh Air is here. Shout out to Fresh Air. ASIF is here. Shout out to ASIF. Fam is here. Shout out to Fam. Garoff is here. Shout out to Garoff. True Day. I love the name, man. True Day is here. Web3 NFT says hi. Portal Bitcoin. Yes, we'll have that video out later. It was a really good video, guys. Shout out to the team over there.
Some big things. Yeah, they're doing some big things. That's for sure.
Some massive things. They have a community of beasts. It looks like you guys are just rocking with us today. ASAP Benji gets a cheers to 100K, baby. We did it before roll call. We did it before roll call. 100%. Adan is here. Shout out to Adan. Ali is here. MD Salman again. Claudia again. It's been a while, Claudia. But thank you so much for popping in here and hanging with us today. Appreciate you. He said, "Oh, we're at 101. Can you guys put up a Bitcoin chart somewhere?" We should figure that out if that's possible. We'll work on that. Steamy J is here. Kai Effect is here. Machado is here. Shout out to Machado. Strict Lambda is here. Shout out to you. Hello to all. Hello to you, my friend. Kevin Williams. Shout out to you, man. Kevin, are you the one who has that hedge fund type of thing? I think we were talking about you the other day. But if that is you, let us know. Kai Effect is here. Kai Effect, he says runes will pump later. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Because what I was thinking too with runes is basically paid in Bitcoin. So you have to sell your Bitcoin and able to buy runes. And I don't think anyone's willing to do that right now.
In the future, very near future, supposedly you're going to be able to use USDC and Solana with Slingshot, right? So
yeah,
I hope that they are ready for that, because I think we are all ready, and so is the markets, maybe.
Yeah, for sure. Kevin B. Williams again. Claudia says alt season on altcoin alt season on Bitcoin happened twice when alt season on others didn't happen. So probably the waves are just synced up yet. On all markets, we'll see later on some moves on our narrative. I hope so. I hope rooms can really get a pump up here. Myself says play with the Fibonacci retraceable tool. Prices often hang around those fib numbers. Yeah, I see a lot of big traders using that Fibonacci, man. MD Salmon is here. Kai Effect is here. Island Wars again. Kevin Williams says, okay, it's a different Kevin. Okay, I wasn't sure because there's somebody with your name brother who I see has like a hedge fund. But yeah, shout out to you, my friend. And then Kai Effect says, I'm up 88% on my Bitcoin long. So, yeah, man.
I think you accidentally skipped Chief Axel.
Where?
Yeah, he was in there. I saw him in there earlier.
I don't see him.
Because like whenever you switch to somebody else, maybe I missed them, but I could have sworn I saw Chief Axel. And you were transitioning.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, there he
is.
There
man.
he is. Got to give a shout out to the OG, Chief Axel. We met him in Nashville.
Yeah.
Nashville, yeah.
Yep, Nashville. Yep. Shout out to you, my friend. Sorry I missed you, man. I don't know what happened there, but got a good job on keeping that legend in there for us. But guys, that is your roll call today. A very lengthy roll call, but shout out to every single one of you guys who makes the show every single day. Guys, we are live every day. Every day, Portal guys, we're live every day. You guys should rock with us. But we appreciate you guys being here today.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's kind of get into some topics here. So the virtual Genesis launches to look for. So shout out to Francis Dune Uncensored. I've been watching his videos again. He's putting out videos, but he's bullish on two of these launches. And the Genesis launches are a lot different than previous, right? So previously, Genesis launches have been, launches on virtuals have been pretty shitty, to say the least, right? It's
pump funny.
Everyone jumps in. Yeah, pump funny, not a good experience, but they have this new thing called Genesis launches. Let me show my screen here. So these are Genesis launches. So Francis has been pumping up two of these. Burn AI. This is one of these. I haven't really took the due diligence to look into this, but I want to show you guys. So it starts in 1 day, 23 hours and 31 minutes. And there's another one he's really been bullish on. That's Axelrod. Axelrod is obviously a fictional character from a Showtime show. I forget the name of that show. But he is, basically an agent for AI versus XVC. So definitely, if you guys are interested in virtuals, make sure you guys do a lot of research on Burn AI and Axelrod. I do love that they all have start time, and then you can't front run it, which is awesome because when you go in, you can't use your points yet. So you will need to have points. If you don't have points, you can just hold virtuals. Virtuals will get you some points there, and then you guys will be eligible to kind of rock with these. It'll when it starts, you'll have it here. You basically put 554 virtuals. That's the max, and then amount of points. If you can if your points are high enough, you will get in. So what I basically mean is that you have to every time for everything you do on virtuals, holding virtuals, trading on virtuals, you get these things called points, and those points add up, and then you need a certain amount of points to get into a lot of these things with these launches.
Yeah, and Axelrod is a AI hedge fund. You know, kind of removes the emotions from all that stuff. And I mean, they've had stuff like this before. The difference is with this Genesis approach, they're going back to how the launch pads kind of did things with pre-allocation, right? Except for it's better than that even, because you're earning, you're using, and you could do that with that other stuff. But also, like, there's a maximum amount that you can be allocated in here as well, I think, right? So they're trying to make it more I guess of less casino, more of effort and substance in the projects that are coming through the Genesis launch, right? So you can still gamble on the prototype side of the launch pad that they have, but I think that the projects that are going to end up really building up, you know, strong capital liquidity and stuff like that are going to come from the Genesis launch. But be careful too, because I did see something that Francis Dune talked about, like someone replicated like one of the Genesis launches and it was a scam and stuff. So just make sure you're being careful, you're doing all your research, and go make sure you're subbed to Francis Dune Uncensored too. He's one of our good friends of the show. We've known him for a while, and he has some great alpha when it comes to the AI projects right now. He's really hyper focused in it.
Yeah, for sure. Go follow Francis. We're gonna have him on the show. Hoping soon, maybe after the big Blitz. But I'm in talks with him to get him possibly on the show. But you commit 556 virtual with your points. But the thing is too, so let's just say you participated in this one, Burn AI, right? Every day you hold and you don't sell any of that Burn AI, your points just add up. So you get insane. They're called diamond hands points. So every day you don't sell the Bernie AI after this, you're gonna get massive amount of points, which will allow you to get into other Genesis launches. So that is one thing that I saw. I mean, they said that is how you're going to earn the most amount of points. I was reading someone's tweet, and they're basically saying how to get points on virtuals, holding these Genesis launches, just holding them, and then and obviously holding virtuals and trading on virtuals as well. But the big amount of points will come from holding these after you pledge your virtuals and your points.
So how do you feel about this? You know, obviously they're incorporating this to try to create like this hodl culture, right? You know, they saw a problem as well, right? Like, I don't think pump funds leadership, and they don't care. They're making money. That's just I think that's how they roll. But like virtuals, I do think that they do want to create more of like a substantive type of platform instead of this pump fun environment where everybody's like a zero-sum game type of situation, right? But at the end of the day, like, is this still kind of just gamifying it from a builder standpoint to get people to hold it, or is it actually creating value and substance? What do you think?
Well, you know, incentive drives, you know, everything, right? So give me an incentive to hold and I'll hold it. If there's no reason, if I'm sitting there and I'm just like, I need to dump this to get into let's just say I got in this one, right? And then Axelrod is a few days later. I'm like, I need to dump something to get more Axelrod. But now it's kind of like, wait, let me just hold this. Let me sell something else because I'm getting points that I can use towards Axelrod, right? So incentivizing is, I mean, that is the only way to bring people. That is why DeFi and Bitcoin in the early days did so. Not in DeFi, in DeFi and Ethereum did so well in the early days because they incentivize you to hold these tokens. Why would you hold them? Because you're staking them and for insane amount of yield, right? But that we know that wasn't
sustainable.
Longevity. That wasn't sustainable. But this is something that is sustainable because you need these points to get in other launches. You want to get in other launches to get these to make money. So I don't know, man. I think this is perfect. I think the guys at Virtuals did an amazing job at relaunching this the right way because the old way wasn't working.
Yeah, and so I kind of agree with you, and I also think that our space needs to mature more as well and start to look at like certain like variables that give confidence in the investor, right? Like the TradFi has that with, you know, numbers, your books, your revenue report, your, you know, quarterly reports, those kind of things.
Yeah.
Obviously it's different than that because, you know, this is more focused around like the financial system, a new financial system, but there's going to be like, and it's starting to happen, like business, traditional businesses or Web2 businesses coming in, intertwining and stuff like that. But this is a great start, in my opinion, to kind of say, hey, we got to pump the brakes on this, just like coming and gambling, throw my money at like mainstream is not going to come. Yeah. They're not down for that. You know what I mean? They don't even know how this works, and they're going to stumble into just giving people like thousands of dollars. No way, right? So I think this is good for that, but you need to build on this now. Like add to this, continually add to this. What's another variable that you can say that, you know, gives this project even more confidence in it, right? So definitely a good start. Got to give them credit because you don't see Pump Fund doing this. And yes, AI is different. AI is kind of a utility in itself, but still, the way that Virtual started was very much like Pump Fund. All the people cared about was that they had more to, than what they started with, and there's a lot of people that had less. And so this will give people a way to research, way to assist, you know, and it's a starting point. Eventually, I think they can build more and more on this, and we'll have something that's pretty, you know, that can be sustained. That's what we need.
Yeah. And I think too, this kind of stops stuff that, you know, let's just say with you know, with the Hawktua girl and her coin Hawktua, if there was an option for her to do this, or for Trump, for instance, when they launched the Trump coin, we do know that you know, 10 minutes before that went live, you had $2 million worth of buys, right? This kind of stops that because it kind of tells everyone, hey, in 17 hours, this is going live. Hey, in 1 day and 11 hours, this is going live. So imagine if Pump Fund did have something like this and Celebrity Coins did launch this way, you kind of stop the cabals, right? You stop giving that early opportunity to the cabals because everyone now has the same opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, the cabals hate this, and they probably never want this to come over to something like Pump Fund. And I mean, Pump Fund started as a meme and stuff. And that's where memes got out of control, right? And here's a great comment by one of our community members, Claudio, says we should also check for other things from the projects being besides juicy APRs, Pumponomics. Probably the utility itself for the AI should start to be used in different platforms and get max value. A DeFi, I guess is like the new term for that, right?
Yeah.
I want to go a step further and say, you know, another variable we can include in there is revenue share. If you can create, you know, a platform, something like Hustle, that is going to have revenue in their business model, and then start to do revenue share, that would 1000% incentivize people to say, I believe in this. I have confidence in this because this is how much they're making. They're growing. This is an early space with this new financial system, and they could be making $15-20 million a week if they hit stride. How much would that be split upon, you know, not all of it's going to go, but, you know, giving back that way, that's real yield because you're actually earning that, spreading it out. And I really hope that our industry goes in that direction.
But then we become securities.
Well, I mean, the SEC is really laxed right now, right? So, so they could make the situation work. We need that, like in terms of sustainability, we have to have that. You know what I mean?
You talk about dividends. You're talking about securities.
In our
then
own
we become them.
Yeah, except for we're digitized. No, it's the access to it. It's the access to it, right?
24/7.
The 24/7 access to it. You don't have to be like, you know, certified as a certified financial advisor to be able to, you know what I mean? It's more freedom in that aspect. The security aspect, of course, like, you know, that would have to be hashed out with the SEC and the CFTC and all that stuff. But there has to be something that can resemble something of a give back of substance, because I think
buy back and burn is a better way of doing it, though, because otherwise you're
whatever you're doing.
Yeah,
it needs to be substantial, like substance of like actually earning monetary value that gives actual monetary value back to the holders. That is what we need to go.
But we also need to be different than TradFi. The dividends and all that shit. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be a part of that what they've already built. I want to be different, and I feel like we have opportunity here to be different.
Well, right? Then you got to sharing. Yeah. So you got, if you want to be different, then you got to go put the work in. You got to be different, like be creative, but don't create fluff out of fluff. You can't do that. That's not going to work. It's not sustainable.
Yeah. But I do love how crypto throws all the ideas at the wall, and the best ones kind of survive, right? So, but we will see. We'll see. But I definitely don't want to become what's already there, because then there's a separation.
Well, the biggest thing is about control, right? Like, who has the control of it right now? It's us right now, because we're the most educated on our space.
Yeah.
We have the upper hand right now. In terms of capital, they do, right? Because they have all this capital coming over. We're growing, definitely. But once that merge happens, I don't think it would be like just a digital version of TradFi. I think that the companies that are thriving over here are way different than traditional companies. Even if you do wrap some Web2 style companies in it, it's not everything's going to work and fit into a crypto mold style business.
Yeah, 100%. But you got to remember too, like some of the biggest dividends are like T-Mobile, for instance, right? You get in T-Mobile's like $50. It's been $50 for like 19 years because of the dividends, right? Because it's like, all right, the coin doesn't go up, but you get it's like a 3% dividend for holding this.
But if you put
I don't want to get into
if you put a lot of money in that, though, that it is worth it for a lot of people that have become millionaires doing that.
Then your coin doesn't go up. And you're making
I mean, but you
I want to make 100% a year.
That's not realistic. Like
I can get in Tau 2 weeks ago and be up 100%.
Yeah. You said 100% every year, forever.
Not for. I mean, you can find that opportunity, is what I'm saying.
Forever. Like
in crypto, yeah. I mean, I feel like there's. I mean, we're such in a new area. There's gonna be new ideas every year. If there's not a 200, something that goes nuts, 200%.
If I was talking about
I wouldn't get into T-Mobile.
I'm talking about
something more risky.
Yeah. I'm talking. So you could do that in stocks too. You can get into new startups and stuff like that all the time if you're doing research. 100%.
Yeah, but after the IPO, I mean, you can barely make money.
Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is you can't do that with one crypto project, right? Just like you can't do that with T-Mobile forever, or you can't do that or not T-Mobile, another thriving project forever. And so you got to constantly follow. The advantage is that we know this space. There's going to be similarities, of course. I mean, that's investing in monetary value and all that stuff. But you want to be different. We're already different in a lot of ways.
For now, I mean, they're catching up, right? They're going to 24-hour markets is coming. They want to. Larry Fink wants to tokenize all the stocks, all the bonds. We're seeing companies every single day. So right now we're different, but for how much longer? Right? I think we need to innovate more. We need to stay away from TradFi stuff and get more into being different, being innovative. Innovate from here is kind of my point.
Well, they're coming over to us.
But it means we have to innovate further. We can't let them catch up. We got to keep moving. And
as long as it makes sense.
Yeah. Shout out to MoChain. He says, my boys, I forgot YouTube for days. Happy to be alive. Yeah, a lot of people forgot about YouTube for days. We're definitely seeing it before, but shout out to today. You guys are rocking with us today, man. Huge crowd in here today. Mark says, how long before we talk about hitting 1 million Bitcoin? 2-5 years? I think that conversation starts next March and April for sure, but I don't think we hit 1 million until 2029.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that could fast track that, though. So
TradFi will never have privacy coins. Yeah, for sure.
Well, and also like they're trying to figure out how they can continue control. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's be real. Like Citadel has entered the game, and that is a company 1000% that has control of the TradFi in terms of the dark pools and also having multiple different businesses within TradFi that are what is it called, conflict of interest. I mean,
sure.
Hedge fund and a market maker and broker. Like, how can you be all three? You're controlling everything. Like you one is not going to tell on the other. You know what I mean?
No. And we saw that with Robinhood, right? We saw that when GameStop should have went to $700 that day, but they pulled the plug, and that was
and they were the main contributor to Robinhood, right? They were paying for all the data, so Robinhood was kind of like, fuck, our hands are tied. But that's where regulation should have came in, and that's why we hate the old SECs, because they should have stepped in right then.
But anyways, they were completely awful. All right, let's jump into the next thing here. All right, so Bitcoin Core cites for the first time ever large data inscriptions as one of the primary reasons for removing the opportune limit, marking the first time that ordinal degens have had a direct impact on Bitcoin upgrade. So there's a group now that you were actually just actually told me about. It's called the BitcoinNots, guardians of Bitcoin's original vision. The group raises alarms about potential centralization risks, increased storage requirements, and possibility of regulatory scrutiny stemming from non-monetary uses of the blockchain. The discussion at Bitcoin highlight a fundamental tension between Bitcoin community, balancing innovation and expanded use cases with the preservation of Bitcoin's original ethos. So there was a huge amount of people there, but two guys who have actually spoke about this are on the opposite side, but they came from the same company. So Adam Back, CEO of Blockstream and inventor of Hashcash, one of the three people that I think is Satoshi, Back has acknowledged the unstoppable nature of JPEGs on Bitcoin, suggesting that the community should adapt to this evolution. The opposite side of that is Samson Mail, somebody who is calls himself a Bitcoin purist. He says the only two people against removing the opportune limit seem to be in a serious mood. Everyone else seems to be having a blast that you're going to get more spam on your node. So I don't know what Samson was really getting to here, but what do you think about this whole thing here? Let's kind of start from the beginning here.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that Adam Back is accepting the fact that JPEGs are going to be on Bitcoin no matter what you do. And I'm glad that he's not on the same side of Samson Mao, because Adam Back has a lot of pull in the space, a lot of respect. Samson, probably a lot of, obviously he has influence as well. And they used to be, I think Samson worked for Adam Back or whatever. And there's just like this whole thing. So I'm glad, I thought they were both against it. Look, this whole push really comes down to, in my opinion, from everything that I've researched, is you have Peter Todd on one side that wants to remove the return limits, and then you have Luke Dash Jr., which we know eats cats every night for dinner, and then he's against it. But Luke Dash Jr. has been against encryptions and ordinals from the beginning, and he I believe he works for Ocean Mining. Is that correct? Or he's a part of that team too? Or he has some sort of alignment. I know that he has an alignment.
Jack Dorsey owns it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he owns it. I'm saying I think he works with Ocean Mining. And so Luke Dash Jr. was there was a part of that whole Ocean Mining censoring ordinals, and so they weren't taking inscription transactions. They were ignoring them, not trying to take them into their block and all these things. And so you fast forward down here, and so it's just a continuation of Luke Dash Jr. and probably that. When I say I don't like Jack Dorsey, I say it for reasons, multiple reasons, and this is another reason, right? And so but quickly, no other miners joined in on that movement early with the inscriptions and stuff. They actually will take any transaction, right? And then now you have this kind of second fight with Luke Dash Jr. coming out, right? Here's the problem, and this is also information that I have researched, so maybe I got some of this wrong. If you guys are, let me know. Put it in the chat. You can call me out, whatever. But the movement right now is you have the Samson Mao, Luke Dash Jr. group that's trying to convince a lot of these node runners to switch from Bitcoin Core node software to BitcoinNots software. Here's the problem. There's a lot of contributors to Bitcoin Core. A lot, right? And it's established. BitcoinNots was, in my understanding, created, which is basically a fork, but with modifications of Bitcoin Core by Luke Dash Jr., which has a history of security himself with his own Bitcoin, which he lost. He had custody in, and was begging people to help him find it back or get it back, which is long gone, right? So then, how can you trust a centralized version of this BitcoinNots software that has the history of this guy? And so it's just really this kind of civil war that's happening right now. But it's not. I will say, I'll give them the credit. They went from 4.5% 2 days ago to 7% node runners using BitcoinNots software. I think it's 7.5. If it gets to 20%, then I think oh wow, this is something. We'll see what happens, but that's where we are with it, right? But I think it's kind of everybody else is we're moving on, and a lot of this, a lot of the Bitcoin infrastructure is getting so much attention from builders and investors that they're just kind of like, okay, we're just going to continue with this because they're laying their bets on Bitcoin DeFi and BTC Fi and the Bitcoin ecosystem really thriving. And so are some other layer ones, mind you. Cardano is placing bets on Bitcoin DeFi because they're going to be a part of it. Near protocols placing bets on Bitcoin DeFi. Sui is putting bets on Bitcoin DeFi, which is why Tokeo Smart Wallet is incorporating all those because it's really smart to do that, right? And so I just think that once there's like so much capital that's backing a movement, it's really hard to, even if you have this ideology of fundamentals of Satoshi and all these things, which by the way, a lot of times they add upon extra things that he said and said, like, it's only for financial transactions. Why is there available storage for metadata? Why is there available storage for files? Why was there JPEGs was one of the first things that was actually added that was a data file back in the day. I think it was him that did it, Satoshi, right? So I mean, there's just a lot of like arguments back and forth with it, but I think we move forward and we see some really cool things this cycle with the Bitcoin ecosystem.
Yeah, and like to your point there, Satoshi in the very first Genesis block, he wrote in the witness data, Bitcoin, he put the article from that I think was in the English newspaper, right? Chancellor on the brink of a second bailout for banks. That was written in the witness data, the same place where we put ordinals, right? So Satoshi was one of the first people to inscribe on Bitcoin. Right. So in a way that was the first inscription. So Satoshi used that for that reason. And then people used it to put stuff in there all the time. It just took Casey to actually index every single Satoshi to be able to track all this stuff. Satoshi had to sit there and index every single Satoshi. And that is why we're able to track these things and trade them. You're not able to trade, Bitcoin, second bailout for banks, right? But you are when you index all the Satoshi. So that's why the biggest thing there was. But my biggest thing about this is, it doesn't matter what these node runners do. It's what the miners do. The miners are the ones putting the stuff in the blocks. Obviously, Ocean Mining in the beginning, they came out and they were saying things like, "Oh yeah, we're just not going to put anything in our blocks. We're not doing it." But now they do. Right. So it's like, because they want that money. And that's what it comes down to right now. It's really easy for people to say, yeah, we're part of this NOTs thing. It screws the JPEGs. But once that mempool gets full again, and these miners are doubling, if not tripling the amount of Bitcoin they're getting per block, none of that's going to matter. Money way outweighs everything. The amount of Bitcoin you have outweighs everything. And I just think that this is something that they're talking about right now because the markets are dead, mempool is empty, and you can back wherever you want when there's no money on the line. The second you put money on the line, everything changes.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot that is goes into this, but we'll see if that kind of old mentality, because I'll tell you this, that they're very stubborn. They don't want they will fight till the end, tooth and nail. But how much effect they'll have is really what we'll see. And it's kind of the worst time for them to kind of battle this out right before, like, Bitcoin is like, right now Bitcoin is like it's thriving and it's about to get even more intense and all that stuff. So we'll see. And also, like, I think so that first text that was January 3rd, 2009, right? So that was like right whenever things started.
That was the first block. Yeah, that was the first block.
Genesis block, yeah.
Cool. Block 0. So, and that's the block that everyone that wallet that mined those 50 Bitcoin is the block that we use as our burn wallet. That's the burn wallet address.
Yep.
So it's pretty funny that is in there as well. Let's take a look at CoinMarketCap real quick, because I think this is really this is something I used to do all the time, but I haven't really looked at it before. Like, kind of just going through and kind of seeing what is happening. So we got Bitcoin obviously number 1, Ethereum is number 2, sitting at market cap at 248 billion. So the thing is crazy that XRP is now basically the number 3 behind Ethereum as tokens. And it's about half of Ethereum. Isn't that nuts, dude? It's a little more than half of Ethereum. XRP is. That is wild. XRP is so. I mean, Ethereum is so undervalued that XRP is even in the talk right now to be that number 2. So my question for you is: does XRP ever take Ethereum's spot and be that number 2?
I think it's gonna be really tough unless they have this crazy adoption curve, right? Like where they are what they said that they were going to be, and Swift and all that crazy stuff, to where it's just being the coin itself is being utilized so much, every day. But to be down almost half with in a cycle that Ethereum has struggled so much, I think that's a lot to catch up on.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, that's a $4.50 XRP compared to a $2,000 Ethereum. So we will see. What happens with that. Solana sitting there back up to $160. Doge almost back up to that 20 cents. That's up 12% in the today. Cardano sitting up 10% today. Cardano, man, gaining some strength here, sitting at 25. Doge and Cardano are like neck to neck here, with Solana just being that top dog. Do you see any shake up happening here in the top 10, not including stablecoins?
Well, Cardano having their largest meme coin, I think prepping to get listed on Kraken. I believe that's what I heard. If that happens, that's going to be really, really big for them, because that will be the first Cardano DeFi token that is on a major tier 1 exchange, and that could start ripple effect, right? And let's say Cardano's DeFi does start to really expand. Now you're talking about the largest DeFi at the moment, UTXO chain, in terms of DeFi at the moment, right, with TVL and all that stuff, having an opportunity to kind of thrive and put their name even further out there. Now we'll see what happens and what the DeFi llamas and stuff considers DeFi TVL with Bitcoin and all that stuff after the cycle, because I think they're gonna have a hard time really categorizing everything, right? Because Bitcoin's approach to DeFi is way different. And it could actually be very similar to Cardano, because Cardano they do have smart contract script on their chain, but the computation stuff is happening off chain. That same abilities, you can actually do that with Bitcoin, right? And you have BitVM and stuff lined up. So it could kind of follow a little bit of that trajectory, and we'll see what happens. But I think Cardano has a good chance. Now, the ETF stuff, they're at 75%. So I think that's a good chance they get approved. Cardano has a good shot really getting into this top 5 to 7.
You think so? Who comes out?
Ooh, that's going to be the hard part here. Obviously, you don't count the stables, right? So they're so they're kind of like right at that 5, right?
Yeah, so top 5 is Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, BNB, and Solana. I know. It's tough. I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. The only difference, I guess, is that Solana's total supply, max supply, is infinity, while Cardano's does have a cap, right? I mean, it's huge, though. I think it's like 32 billion.
Yeah.
So, it's going to be tough. But, hey, it can grow substantially in market cap, right, value. So I think that's all that really matters, is like how much can it grow, right? Because everything grows typically at the same time, especially with the blue chip majors, whenever there's an alt market and stuff like that. So 45 billion total ADA.
Yeah, that's insane. That's a lot. So all right, let's take a look at some of these now. I'm actually shocked that Polkadot is actually doing so bad. I mean, this is bear market low. I think it hit in the bear market like $3. So why do you think Polkadot is getting hammered here? Really, really in the depths of hell. I mean, Hyperliquid and Toncoin, Hedera has passed, Polkadot. It's pretty wild.
Polkadot has had the ICP problem, right, with marketing. Yeah, they've had that problem, and both have put like a lot of capital into it. It seems like strategy is the issue with them, or and also you got to remember too, like the capital that is in our space, like there's only so much to go. I mean, like I think it obviously grows. It's going to grow continually year after year with the adoption with institutions and stuff. But also, how many people do you know utilizing Polkadot's infrastructure right now? Right? Do they even have like a chain that has been birthed from them that is, highly used or hot? Not really, right?
Yeah, not really much at all. I mean, really nothing. Cosmos is again basically right there too. Bear market lows, the same thing. But Cosmos, they have a lot of chains. They have Kronos is doing really well. They have, what's that new one? Say, right? Say is using the Cosmos. Like Celestia, another one. Cosmos is getting ripped too, and it does have 3 major chains running on it.
But do they have a tokenomic mechanism that these chains have to like somehow help the token become deflationary? If not, then it doesn't matter.
It doesn't. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Where's Farcoin at these days? Farcoin, it should be what, a little. It's like probably around $1 billion. Is Farcoin in the top 100?
Yeah, it's in the top 100, but it's probably towards the end, I imagine.
I saw Pepe up there. Do you think Farcoin passes Pepe?
Oh, I mean, the momentum it's got.
Yeah,
seems like it's Farcoin 67. What's Pepe?
67? Okay, yeah, 66 here. Pepe is like 18.
Oh yeah, so it's got some ways to go. Yeah. But it also shows
Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, that was 28.
28. Okay.
Yeah, but it also shows you how much TVL is really on Ethereum, because Shiba is 16. Yeah, and Shiba's the number 1 meme coin on Ethereum, right? And then number 2 is Pepe. Yeah. But they also have Floki, which I don't know if that's in the top 100. But Trump coin is bigger than Fartcoin. So I mean, I don't know. There's a lot of these meme coins that Solana has also Bonk at 56. So there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Mochain had some really good comments here. He said Shizzy, realistically, XRP and ETH have almost the same market cap already, FDV. That's scary because you know who owns majority of that? That's Brad Garlinghouse. I don't want that. I rather all the ETH that there's nothing guaranteed to the ETH Foundation. Everything coming in is proof of stake. I mean, obviously, if they stake their ETH, they'll get a piece of the new ETH coming in. But that's scary, bro. That I would be shitting bricks that the XRP team has all that extra XRP still coming to them. But for sure. And then he says Cosmos is shit. Those chains use the same tech, but they have nothing to do with Atom, the project. Yeah, I realized that too. Cosmos and Atom are obviously 2 different things. Cosmos SDK is what everyone uses. It's B2B. So you have to pay the Cosmos Foundation but the Cosmos Foundation isn't doing anything with those funds. It's not like they're buying back and burning the Atom. There's no reason to hold Atom right now because you're not, besides proof of stake, because you can proof of stake Atom and that, but there is no Atom chain. You can't like do DeFi anything on Atom. It's just the SDK. So
which Cosmos is so like TradFi. Cosmos is probably their revenue probably looks pretty damn good because they're getting paid for their SDK from Kronos, from from whoever else uses their SDK, right? And so, but that doesn't matter for the token. See, that's what I mean by like we need to start to be able to like start plugging these things together, because Mochain has a great point. I mean, he has a great point. Like they're basically who benefits, not the holders of Atom, the team behind Cosmos benefits.
Yeah, yes, who have a team to create it. Yeah, no, 100%. There definitely needs to be incentives going forward, whether that's, I mean, I think buy and burn is still the number 1 incentive I would like to use from a team, because everyone's if you take the coins out of the system. I mean, Satoshi said it, when you lose your Bitcoin, you're actually donating to the system. So if you burn away some of these tokens, I think but there's still options for a lot of these teams. There's still opportunities for a lot of these teams to do some really cool stuff. But yeah, well, but that's good.
I was gonna say so Cosmos, I think is this their revenue here? It's showing 54 million, I think, maybe in 2024. Their expenses are like 20 million. And so, they're making like what, 20-30 million dollars a year. It's maybe this might not be the same one. But anyways, if that's the case, if it is right, then they're making like $20 million a year off of their subscription.
Yep. All right, guys, that is our show today. We got 195 people on X and YouTube. New record for this week, anyway. But that's not including everyone on Abstract. We appreciate you. Everyone on Rumble. We appreciate you. Everyone on Twitch. We appreciate you, and everyone listening later on Spotify and Apple, because we are over there as well. If you guys want to listen to that, just go to your Apple Podcast or your Spotify, and you can actually watch the videos on there as well. Not many people really know that, but we appreciate you guys, man. Every single one of you guys, every single day, absolutely massive. And that's our show.
Yep. Right at 200 people chilling with us. We appreciate you guys. Without you guys, we couldn't do this every day. And so I have to say that every day, man. We are so grateful for each and every one of you guys. And if you could check out our partners, we would greatly appreciate that, as that's kind of the other half that allows us to do this, right? So we thoroughly vet our partners, before we actually partner with them. So we're proud of, our partner group and stuff. And so we'll start off with Sats Terminal, our latest partner. They are an aggregator DEX for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to find the most liquidity, the best pricing with Sats Terminal, guys. So you can go there. They're going to find the best situation for you. You can swap runes. And they're partnered with like so much of the infrastructure out there, guys. So if you connect your wallet, you will automatically start earning points. You get 1,000 Amber points. And what we can say with that is that's going to be connected with some big alpha down the road. They will have, bridging availability and staking availability in the future, as well, as you can see directly on their website. So go visit satsterminal.com, right? I think that's the site there. And you can actually swap and just expect to see them in a lot of places in the future there. And then BetBTC is the predictions marketplace for the Bitcoin ecosystem. We were able to see under the hood yesterday. They utilize ICP and Bitcoin's tech stack together for you guys to be able to place bets in their markets. All you need is a Bitcoin wallet. So Bitcoin in there and 6 Bitcoin blocks, and you can start placing bets in their Blitz markets, which is a 10-minute blitz of basically perps and leverage, right? You can pick Bitcoin, Solana, or BNB, and you get 10-minute countdown. That's consistently running clock. I recommend getting down close to that 1 minute mark before you lock in that price if you think it's going to go up and down, and then you get an additional 10 minutes to see if you were correct or not. But they have a lot of features coming. There's going to be an amazing way for people to really earn based on markets you create for your audience, your following, right? We got Kai Effect. We appreciate you, sir, for the $10 super chat. Says keep up the hard work, guys. We appreciate everything you do. But getting back to BetBTC here, you're going to be able to create your own markets and earn up to 1.5%. We got confirmation of the total volume for the markets that you create, and we'll let you guys know once that program goes live. But also, you're going to be able to refer people and earn off of that as well, their volume. So BetBTC, just hang tight. I know it's been a while. I would just recommend, if you open an account with them or you connect your wallet, you get an addition, 50 points right away with their point system. We're going to give you guys information on that as well as soon as they update the point system. But visit betbtc.win to really get connected in with their community there. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability tooling for the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to jump, and that's what the action is actually called, because they partner with Lit Protocol, and it's jumping your Bitcoin ordinals from Bitcoin Layer 1 to Merlin Bitcoin Layer 2 to Abstract Chain. And Luke and Nets and those guys are really excited. They want ordinals over there so bad because they know they could do well in their marketplace. But you're going to be able to utilize Base as well, and eventually Solana. And you're going to be able to use their AI agent Hustle to help you guys do that. And that you're going to be able to use them once they add the Bitcoin tech stack to Agent Hustle. But for right now, you can actually use Hustle to help you trade Solana, meme tokens, any type of tokens there. They're going to be adding LPs from different areas where you guys can earn off the LPs and use Hustle to help you do it. But right now, he's kind of like this AI assistant that can get you strategies and strategies with pump fund tokens, anything. But in the future, it's going to be even better because they're going to add conditional trading to kind of say, hey, perps is going to be added too. Let me get, into a good position, entry position on Bitcoin once there's a certain percentage drop, and let me exit at this position or this percentage gain there. So it's going to be really, really cool. And he's going to be able to help you vault and jump your ordinals as well. And the last thing about them is they have a TGE for their Bitcoin Rune. That's going to be in September of this year. And you can actually participate in that in a pre-sale environment right now on OpenSea. If you search Emblem Founder Vaults, it is an NFT. But once you get to the TGE date, they will give you instructions on how to get those runes into your Bitcoin wallet. But if you visit emblem.vision, you're going to learn all about everything we just broke down for you. So make sure you head over there and just get familiar with these guys, because they're going to be on every chain. And then you have Artura.finance, which is really establishing themselves to be the main perps and leverage decks of the Bitcoin ecosystem. They will be launching on Hemi, Bitcoin layer 2, backed by Binance Labs, but also Botonics, the spider chain. And I think Botonics is going to start to really rev things up with their marketing plan. So you're going to learn a lot more about Botonics, the dApps and everything that they're going to have to offer. But Artura is going to be a big part of that. You're going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungibles on Artura, like Dog Go to the Moon, $1 Billion Cat. I gotta shout out Billy every time, because that is my favorite community in Bitcoin runes, and as well as Ordi and Sats. Though you know, those BRC20 legacy tokens have a lot of liquidity and stuff, so you know, expect those to be over there as well, and tokens outside of the Bitcoin ecosystem like XRP, Tau, Ethereum, etc. Let's say you're not a trader though, and you just want to participate in how you can add liquidity to their vaults and earn passively there. But make sure you head over to Artura.finance, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask us directly. We'll try to help guide you guys through their website. And then Fluid Tokens, you know, Raoul, the CTO of that team, man, that team is just constantly grinding, constantly delivering. We have brought up their airdrop tool that's going to be available very, very soon for you guys. They're actually grinding at Draper University right now. So they were the first to offer staking vaults for Bitcoin Layer 1 in a retail environment. So if you are a founder of an ordinal collection, or you have an established rune with some sort of established community, it doesn't have to be a huge community. It can be a small community, but you know, you have some sort of community, you can head over to their Discord and ask them, how do we get started with the staking vault for our community on Bitcoin Layer 1? And they will walk you through it, guys. You can see Omen, which actually came over from Cardano, and now they're on Bitcoin as well. You have Pep Odins, and you have Sparks as well, which are Bitcoin runes that started on Odin and were bridged over, and they have staking vaults. And the big one right here is Dog Go to the Moon staking vault, which unlocks in 18 days. So right around Bitcoin 2025 conference in Las Vegas. So once you unstake, it's one transaction to get your original assets and your reward there. So really exciting stuff from this team, man. I'm telling you, they're going to be huge, making a huge splash there in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So head over to fluidtokens.com or their Discord and ask as many questions as you need to ask, guys, to get started. They also have their Cardano side, and they have a token from Cardano and Bitcoin Rune that's backed 1-to-1, and you're going to be able to bridge back and forth using their Aquarium bridge that's coming soon. And then my favorite wallet, not just because they're a partner, of course, like, you know, they are really motivated to build the best UX and UI for wallet users in the Bitcoin ecosystem, but I like them because of the fact they started with mobile. And just download their wallet and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You can head over to the Apple Store or Google Play. You can swap for runes directly in the wallet, guys, like right now. You can swap Cardano tokens, Bitcoin runes. You're going to have access to Sui, DeFi as well on there. And that's just the start. But the whole objective for Tokeo is to be a multi-chain smart wallet. And they will have a PC version coming soon. But, you know, getting the mobile side down, right, is the most important thing, in my opinion. If 65-70% of Web2 users are utilizing mobile, then that's going to be a higher number for the Web3 space. So make sure you guys are checking these guys out. They do have a token, the Toke token, that is on Cardano. You can have access, you know, swap directly on the app as well. And you'll see us there because they have an alpha section for YouTube videos. You know, so it's a one-stop shop, guys. So visit Tokeo.io to learn more there. And then our friends from Merlin Chain, uniting Bitcoin strength with the power of AI. They have been doing huge things with their AI tool, using the wizard, and 0.3 version is going to be available to kind of guide you guys through Merlin Chain's ecosystem. But a lot of new killer dApps are going to be coming to Merlin. We know of a couple that are building right as we speak, that are connected with like Web 2 stuff, guys. So it's really, really big stuff. And then if you want to help participate securing the chain and you have Merlin tokens, you can go to merlinchain.io and click stake there, and you can earn 15% of your Merlin chain token staking. And so that's a really good APR. If you want to swap for Dog of the Moon, you can visit merlinswap.org, and they have a really good liquidity pool for Dog there. Lastly is our integrated partners in Foxy AI and Ordinal Hive. Foxy AI, we actually live stream every Tuesday, 3 p.m. First-person shooter game called Cypher Striker, and it's a clan war environment. So all you need is a supported Bitcoin wallet, which is pretty much all of them, and then they support Phantom and MetaMask as well. And you can, everybody's invited. You can pick your clan, and then we kind of go to war for 45 minutes, and we live stream it on all the platforms. So really fun time. And then Ordinal Hive is also the aggregator Ordinal marketplace for Bitcoin Layer 1 and Layer 2. You're going to be able to find the cheapest Ordinals around at Ordinal Hive, and they have amazing trader tools like live mempool insights. But we thank all 192 of you guys for checking out our partners, man. We appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah, 100%. Thank you guys for staying as long as you guys do to kind of check these partners out, because that really means a lot to us. And Kai Effect, man, I just want to show my appreciation to you, man. Absolutely awesome. You are like our leading guy with the donations, man. Absolutely awesome. Really appreciate you, my friend. Even though sometimes we don't see them until the show's over, and I'm like, damn, I should have said something to Kai Effect. Just know every time you do, man, we definitely really appreciate it. Let's jump over. Oh yeah, I do want to. So now in the YouTube, when you guys are watching, there's a membership thing now. So we do every Sunday, we're going to be putting out a membership video. We're going to be consistent with it, and we're going to have really amazing stuff, maybe some insider stuff that people ask us not to say. That's probably going to be in those videos. Just saying, not going to confirm.
No, we won't.
I will. Yagobi won't. He'll yell at me. But I'm going to put some alpha in there for you guys. Maybe some stuff that I shouldn't. But it's going to be good. It's for the members.
Alpha, yeah, for sure.
As long as you guys don't go snitching on me and saying, Shizzy said this. Only member videos can get in there. But definitely check out our member videos every single Sunday. I'm going to try to sneak as much alpha in them as possible. So definitely check them out. Yeah, now it's actually I was actually checking that. It's actually on the YouTube now. You can actually hit that bottom button and you see memberships right there. So we were eligible for that. So definitely check that out if you're interested. But if you guys have a few minutes and wouldn't mind checking out OnChain Revolution.io, some of the best articles, guys. Articles dating all the way back to 2023. I mean, we're talking early days. So you guys can actually get caught up very quickly by checking out our website. You're able to really check out the newest articles and go all the way back. But if you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We really feel like it can help them get started and caught up to where we are today. So definitely check that out. If you guys need a VPN, Nord is my favorite. I use it every single day. I actually have 2 different accounts with Nord because you get up to 5 devices with one VPN, but I need 10 because I have so many damn devices in my house. Every single device I have has a Nord VPN there. So definitely check this out. It wasn't working for a little bit, but now I think we got it back up. So if it doesn't work, when you click the VPN, just put in Ordinal Revolution, and that one would work, right? So we get a fix for that.
Which one? No, it should be. Oh, okay. So the menu I got to update. Yeah. So that just check that later today. It'll be updated.
All right. Yeah. So if you're seeing this 404, just change this to Ordinal. But we're gonna get this updated as soon as possible. So if you guys are interested in getting VPN, and I think every single one of you guys,
I think the banner works. If you scroll down on it, it should work, but maybe not.
Okay, I got you.
Yep.
So definitely check that out, guys. We really appreciate you checking it out. And if you guys need tickets to Bitcoin 2025 Las Vegas, use our link here. They're getting really expensive. I wouldn't wait too much longer. I would get them as soon as possible, but definitely check out our link right there. And if you guys need merch for that event, or really any event, guys, I truly recommend checking out our stuff at least. And if there's something you want added, yo, Shizzy, I really like this logo. Can you throw this on a shirt for me? No problem. We can pretty much add anything for you. This is all done through our third-party Shopify. We just send them the logos. We make a little bit of money on them, but we kind of get you guys the best merch that we can possibly offer, and that is here on our link. So check that out if you guys need merch. Everyone's going to need merch really soon because these events are coming in quick. So definitely check out our link for sure. We adding stuff as soon as possible. Definitely check out everything at onchainrevolution.io. And guys, from the comments, Kevin B says, rock on. He said, I'm on all your partners. Shout out to Kevin B, man, our guy. Well, I'm Yuri says, thank you guys a lot. I got to really start checking the chat more because our appreciation for you guys for staying as long as you guys do. 147 minutes is absolutely awesome. But guys, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. Until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You're not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear trap. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta adapt. Now we bridging the tokens and marching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. OnChain Revolution.